48 times he stepped into the ring. 38 times he knocked down his opponents. They called him the King Kong because of the beast of right hand that he had anytime he was in the ring to match up. The IBF had him in their books, and there was also a time where he tried even the super bantamweight division, seeking to become a world champion. 2 times he held onto the world title between 2007 and 2011. And in the 10 world titles Ghana have won, he's one of the few to have written his books in the annals of the country's boxing story. He is Joseph Agbeko, my guest on Prime Take. Champ. Thank you. Why are you called King Kong? Where did you get that name from?
King Kong is my real name.
Okay.
Yeah, King Kong is the name that actually introduced me into boxing. That's why I always say that I did not choose boxing. Boxing chose me. My dad gave me a name by birth, King Kong. So during my school days, my friends are always scared of me. Even at home, my colleagues, they are all scared of me. Because then we had watched the movie King Kong.
Oh, okay.
You know, so whenever anything happened between myself and any of my friends and we have to fight, they feel like I'm that King Kong. And some of them that I know I can't beat them, but they become very soft for me and they make it easy for me to beat them. So I was beating everybody. So that made me to divert everything into boxing.
Then this one appears to be kind of a nickname that was given to you early at birth.
No, it was never a nickname. That was my name. You know, they say good name is better than riches. You know, so whenever you're naming your child, you have to be watchful of what name you give to your child, because definitely the name will play a role in his or her life.
Where did you grow up?
I was born in Sukura. And
You're a Sukura boy?
Yeah, Sukura boy. I'm a Zongo boy. So
do you speak Hausa?
Most people think I speak Hausa, but
you formatted it?
Yeah, but when you speak, I understand most of them.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not good with language, you know. So I started from Sukura, and then I spent most of my life in Accra Central, Bese, to be precise. So that's where I would say, that's where I grew up. And then after some time, I moved to Dakuma. So I've been a Zongo boy around Zongo to Bese and then to Dakuma. So I'm a tough boy.
So you've been around Blacksmith, Tank Council line?
Yeah, that's Sukura area.
Latebia
Koshi, Zamama line, all those areas.
Oh, you're a proper Zongo boy.
Yeah.
So how was life like growing up?
I would say that I came from a family, a small family, a very traditional one. And when I developed the love to become a boxer, I used to play football with my friends. Okay. And I even joined a team, and I wanted to play football.
Are you a disappointed footballer?
Oh yeah, you know, I have this passion of becoming great. Okay. You know, and when I look at football, I realize that football has a lot of people on the field. Okay. And one man's mistake could result to the failure of all the team. So the failure of the team. So I realized that, okay, no, boxing is an individual job. I even wanted to be a goalkeeper because you'll be the only one to be at the goalpost, so everyone can shine on their own, but yours is for just you, you know. But looking at my body structure and everything, I said, no, I can't. And then because of how my friends are always scared of me and I keep on beating everybody, so I said, okay. Then I've been watching my godfather, Zuzum Nelson. I've been watching him all the time, staying up late to watch him all the time. So I said, okay, I think this is where I belong. Let me go into boxing. And I started boxing, and everything started going well for me.
Were you kind of a street fighter? Because you were punching everyone left, right, and center.
In my neighborhood in Sukura, whenever any new boy comes around, we have to test him. you know. So you have to fight a couple of people until you get to my side, you know. So something like that, but I'm not like the violent type that is always, no, like always fighting on the street, no. It's a neighborhood thing, but from the minute I started boxing, all those things went off. I grew up with a man called Bisi Tyson. He is one of the promising boxer out of Ghana. He was the lightweight champion for Africa, Commonwealth. To the West stage, he was like one of the greatest, and he was the one that had me like a senior brother or a father to me, and I learned a lot of things from him because he used to be a violent guy when he was growing up, before he got into boxing. And when I was staying with him, whenever we are at a place in the Bukum Saraha area, and then there was any violence going around anywhere, he would just hold me, let's move. He takes me away. So I have been a violent-free person.
Violent-free, but did you spend some time in Bukum?
Yeah, Bukom and Bese is like almost
the same
area, but we have names, but it's all
just the same line.
Yeah, it's all Gamashi. Yeah, but because I actually grew up inside Bese, so I like to mention Bese.
But not Bukom.
No, because I came from Bese.
Yeah, so the
I
people of
stayed
Bese will be
inside
proud
Bese.
They'll be proud that they produced a world champion.
I actually before I continue, I just want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to the Gbese Manche, Nia Ibonte. He was my first ever boxing manager.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he saw a talent.
Was he combining football and
yeah,
boxing?
He was the Accra Suffolk manager and to their CEO and everything. At that time, and I'm from there. He's one person that he likes to help everyone from
I knew him as Nia Ibonte.
Everyone from the community. He used to help everyone from the. So when he saw me and he realized I'm from his place and I'm doing well, he gave me a hand and he said, "Let's go." He took me like a son and he gave me that push, you know. So I would say. He contributed massively to making of Joseph King Kong Agbeko. He made me, and I would like to say a big thank you to Mr. Mitch Williams, Awono of Aborigine Promotion. He is my last boxing promoter manager that I worked with, and he took me like a son. Made sure I'm protected and everything goes well for me. So those two people meant a lot to me.
Thank you. Let me say thank you to them on your behalf for building you up to write your name in the history books of Ghanaian boxing. But tell me, how would you describe your boxing career?
My boxing career, like a roller coaster. It has been up and down, up and down. I was a very young prospect, someone that everybody saw great prospect in me, but at some point of time, things get locked at some time, open at another time, and even before I became a champion, it was even overdue, like to the time for me to become a champion. People thought I could have become a champion before then. And things were very bad, and people gave up in me. You know, they gave up on me, and then the chance came, and I had to be a substitute for Luis Alberto Perez. Luis Alberto Perez was going to defend his IBF bantamweight title against another boxer, and the boxer pulled out, and he was the most dangerous bantamweight at that time, and the most biggest puncher at that division during that time. And I got a call for about 3 weeks before the fight, and I took it and I knew it was for me, and I went and grabbed it. So it has been a roller coaster. It has been
that was a big risk, because within 3 weeks you were able to get yourself ready for that fight.
Yeah, I believe that this is one thing I always tell the younger fighters coming up. You always have to get ready. Like when you're always ready, you don't have to get ready. You know, once you're always ready, you don't have to get ready. I moved to the US, had one fight, and I wanted to come back home for some holiday and then go back, and my managers didn't want me to go. They wanted me to stay because they were preparing some fights for me, and they believe if I win that fight, I may be maybe 3 or 4 fights, closer to the championship.
World title.
And I told them, no, I have to go see my kids. I've missed them, and if God said I'm going to be a champion, I will be. If not, I wouldn't be. So I want to go home. So they allowed me. I went home. And luckily for me, God has always been on my side. I had a problem. That's, you know, boxing is a very tough sport, you know. Preparing for a fight, going in for a fight, it's a very, very, very tough sport. So whenever a boxer finish a fight, they want to eat everything with their both hands. When it comes to food, when it comes to food, because you've starved yourself for so long, you want to enjoy with both hands. When it comes to the fun part of life, in terms of the women and all drinks and all other things, they want to, and because you have to stay away from all those things before you can make it. So after my fight, I was supposed to, enjoy myself, you know. But I had a little problem with myself, which couldn't allow me to go closer to those enjoyments, you know. So when I got the call, I knew it was for me. I just told my manager, I'm coming for it.
What was the problem?
Come again?
What was the problem?
It's something that I cannot say. But it actually pushed.
It's what I'm thinking.
No, you can't have an idea of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's something that actually puts me away from getting close to a woman or having anything to do with, a woman.
So that was a blessing in disguise, isn't it?
Yeah. That's why I said God loves me, and He has always been on my side.
But God didn't love the other side, no?
You know, they said many are called and few are chosen. Yeah. On that day, that was the fight was scheduled for was for me. So God has to be on my side, not His side. So when I got the call, I said, okay, it's for me, I'm going for it. So when I went there, they knew it was just a short notice, which they believe they're going to take advantage over me. I went in there, we went for our press conference, we did a face-off. My opponent looked tough. I took off his glasses and I told him, hey, this one is not for you, I'm taking it away from you. The confidence was very, very high. And I went in and I took it.
You don't even look like a boxer. This skinny boy, you're coming to fight me.
Yes, we give our glory to God.
What would you say has been your most challenging moment as a boxer?
The most challenging moment. I would say there was a time when I was going to fight Guillermo Rigondeaux. Yeah. I was moving up in weight to super bantamweight to fight Rigondeaux. And Rigondeaux was one boxer that everybody was scared of. Okay. Yeah. He beat Nonito Doné. Nonito Doné is obviously the toughest fighter at the division then. And he beat Nonito Doné. And when Nonito Doné could have asked for a rematch, he wasn't asking for it. Rigo was ready, willing to give Nonito a rematch. And Nonito didn't want it. And any other boxer at the division doesn't want it. And I was a bantamweight. And I watched him and I said, no, I can do this. Let me take it. So I took the fight. Then I had gone through some issues back and forth, and I had just signed on to a new promotional outfit that is Top Rank. So going in with Rigo was promoted by Top Rank because Rigo was working with Top Rank. And Rigo is the most skillful boxer of that time. Yeah. Rigo is compared between Floyd Mayweather. When it comes to skill, when it comes to defense, some say he's number one. Others also say Floyd is number one. So he was like on his peak, the highest.
He was a beast.
Yeah, and his fighting Rigo is like a high risk with low reward, because high risk with low reward.
How?
Because Rigo is not an exciting boxer. People doesn't like Rigo because he's very defensive. People doesn't like Floyd. The boxing, they don't like Floyd. They don't like defensive boxers. They want you to come and punch. Let's punch. Kill yourself. Let them laugh. Let them enjoy so you can make your money. They don't want you to be defensive. You know, and Rigo is very, very defensive. So it doesn't allow punch to touch him. So people doesn't pay to watch him. So when you're fighting Rigo, there's no good money on board, you know, and he is the most dangerous one. So you're fighting the most dangerous boxer with less reward, you know. I took the fight because I wanted to give it, or I wanted to prove a point, you know, and I had just stopped working with Don King, signing on to Top Rank. And then 2 weeks before the fight, I got a letter that I have to pay Don King 50% of my purse for that fight. And even a fight, you know, I'm a fighter that I love boxing. I was born to be a fighter. So I go into the ring with a passion, not because of money. We need money to take care of ourselves.
Not because of money.
No.
You just go to the person who wants to beat you up and you don't want money.
You know, it is worth fulfilling the purpose of your existence in this life rather than becoming rich. Money is very, very important, but we all have purpose in this life. When you are doing a job that you are passionate for, you don't feel like you are working. I'm the type that whenever my manager tells me you have a fight, I become so happy. Not happy only because I'm going to get money. Definitely money will come. Money comes with the hard work, with everything, you know, definitely money will come back. I become so happy because God is giving me another chance to shine, to bring out what He has put it into me. So I am always happy about that. So I wasn't going into the fight with Rigo just because of the money. I love the money, but not just because of the money, but because I want to prove to the boxing world that if nobody can beat this guy, I can beat him. And then 2 ways, you are telling me that the small pairs that I'll be getting, 50% will be going to Don King. And you know, if 50% is going to Don King, that means if you are paying your managers, you are paying your cartman, you are paying your trainers and everyone involved, that you have to pay them, they have to take check from you. Everyone is going to take the check from you from the top, from the 100. They are not going to take their check from you from the 50. You know, so you can imagine how much I'll be earning as the one who put his life on the line. You know, so it took a lot out of me. I wanted to, pull out of the fight. I wanted to pull out of the fight because I felt like even though I want to fight, I want to prove a point, the risk it wasn't worth it, you know. So I wanted to pull out. But the most challenging part was before then, I was supposed to have a fight with Abner Mares. Yeah, I think Abner Mares earlier.
Abner Mares again. You fought Abner Mares in 2013.
Yeah, after our first fight.
Okay.
I think the second fight, we were supposed to fight, and then I had a long flight from. I had a long wait at the airport, and then I had a long flight from New York to California. So when I got to California, on our way to our hotel, I had a muzzle pull. They said it was sciatic nerve, so I couldn't fight, and that was a showtime fight, and I couldn't. The doctors declared me unfit for the fight, so our fight got cancelled. It was a big blow to Showtime because they've promoted the fight, they've spent a lot of money on the fight, which I couldn't make it. So this fight with Top Rank was for HBO. And boxing in the US belongs to HBO or Showtime. So if you had once disappointed Showtime, and then this is HBO, and you pull out of HBO's fight, that means your career will be dead, because none of them is going to give you, and they are the people that gives the most money, you know. So you kill your career. So I have to psych myself, just push myself hard, just to go in for it, you know. So I went into that fight with my spirit not inside me, and it was a very tough.
Why did Don King bring you the letter to give him 50% of your money?
Boxing has never been fair to Joseph King Kong Agbeko.
But it chose you, so it's supposed to be fair to you.
God knows how he arranges things. You know, God, you can never ever understand God's plan. I've had like 99% of my career working with Don King, and we've gone through a lot of challenges. I was in court with Don King for over 2 years, and I have to be inactive for all that 2 years. It took away a lot from me. I have to keep on paying lawyers all the time. Every minute I get a call, I have to come to court. I have to fly from here, go to the US, go to court. After another time, I have to come back. So it was up and down for some time. So it got to a time after 2 years, and I wanted the court to free me, then I can sign on to another promoter while the case is still pending, you know. And Don King's lawyer called my lawyers, and they wanted to settle, which was good. So I spoke with my manager, then Tomora, so that we can just take whatever offer he puts on board, so we can allow the case to go, so I can move on with my career. But my manager then believed so much that we are going to win the case, and we're going to make a lot of money from Don King, which I know Don King very, very well. Don King is like somebody that when you try to scare him, even though he is scared, he's going to try to show you that he's like a lion, you know. So you don't.
He will fight back.
Yeah, you don't try. You don't scare him, you know. So my manager was a little tough. So when we went in for that injunction, the court didn't allow us grant it for me to be free while the case is still pending. And then they said he's my promoter, so he should continue promoting me while we're still in court. So 1 minute we'll get a call from Don King. I have a fight in Nicaragua. I have a fight in some places that they just want to take me there like a cow and just chop me off, you know. So I have to, reject all those fights. So I was inactive for a long time. So one day I went to Don King's office in Florida, and I have to bring out the beast in me so that he can give me my release. So he gave me the release then. That was when I got a chance to sign on to Top Rank. And then, you know, he's the master of the game. So he came out with some other stuff, and they demanded 50% from my purse. And the most surprising thing is that boxing is a very, very mafia business. You know, the most surprising part is that I had just signed on to a new manager as well, Frank Espinoza, and a new promoter, Top Rank. And the fight was happening in Atlantic City, in New Jersey. And in New Jersey, Don King already have crime issues in New Jersey, because he one time bribed a casino guard, and I think that has been on his record. So Don King cannot make money in Atlantic City.
I see. Because
of that, he can't make money in Atlantic City. And we're fighting in Atlantic City. So how can the man make money off me in Atlantic City? You know, one thing that I have lacked in my career has to do with team. You know,
the team around you has never served you well?
I've never had a team. I've never had a team. I have had trainers, I've had managers, I've had some agents and stuff, but everybody was on their own. Everybody was there for the check. You know, none of them were there for me. Nobody was there for Joseph Agbeko. Nobody was there to were there for me. Everybody was there for
what goes into the pocket?
Into the pocket. So, so I had no power. I had nothing to do. And I have to go in there, fight, so Donkey can make his money.
But let me just something very clear here. You've spoken about going to court with Duncan. You've spoken about the letter demanding 50% of your money. Was it after you signed for Top Rank that he brought a letter?
Yeah, after I signed with Top Rank.
But he gave you a release letter.
He gave me a release letter.
How come he came demanding for 50% after giving you a release letter?
He came with other issues regarding our court and loss of money, some other stuff. I had managers and lawyers involved, promoters who I'm working with. All of them are involved, and everyone gave the go-ahead.
Did you fight?
You
fought? For Top Rank, and then paid Duncan his 50%?
Yeah, I fought and I gave it to him.
You gave him his 50%. But what was the reason for Duncan taking you to court?
I took him to court.
You took him to court?
Yeah.
What for?
Because Duncan violated the Muhammad Ali Act. The Muhammad Ali Act is whenever a boxer fighting for a championship, especially when you are the main event.
Yeah.
I've been the main event throughout every fight that I've fought with Duncan. I've been the main event. I think the first one that I fought for the championship, I was the co-main event, but after that, I've been the main event throughout. So whenever you are the main event and you are going into a fight, the promoter has to serve you with the Muhammad Ali Disclosure Act.
Okay.
They have to disclose to you every money that is going into the fight. The money coming from TV, the money coming from sponsorship, the ticket, everything they have to disclose to you before negotiation for your purse. You know, then you will know how to negotiate on your purse. And Duncan never did that with me. You know, he never did that with me. And so I have to take him to court so that he can bring all those things out, then we can properly negotiate on those things and know what I'm getting, what I was supposed to get from here, so I can get everything that he has stolen from me. At
what point did you realize that he was not revealing those details to you?
After I signed on with Tomora, the new manager, the manager knows him a lot. He has worked with him with some other boxers. He has been to court with Duncan severally and he has won all the cases. And he knows all the tricks Duncan used for fighters. You know, he knows all the tricks. And the trick that Duncan uses for Boxer A is the trick that he uses for every fighter. And every trick goes through easily for him with every fighter because he puts you in a situation like, you know, like the mouse or mice, I don't know. When they are biting you, they still put some air there. And, you know, he has some trick that he uses for every fighter. He has used it for Mike Tyson. He has used it for every fighter that he has ever worked with. And he has gone through, it kept working well for him. So when I met Tomora revealed everything to me. And that has been the same thing. And a lot of fighters were having...
But was it indeed true that he was not revealing all those details to you? So because what he did to other boxers does not necessarily mean that he was doing the same thing to you.
Okay. There were other fighters who were having issues with him about the same.
But did you at a point realize that indeed he was cheating you? Did you ever discover that?
Yeah.
So he cheated you?
Donkey cheated me a lot. He cheated every fighter that he has worked with.
Like how much? Can you approximate that?
Because we didn't get to the point that he has to disclose everything for the courts and myself to see whatever he was taking away from me. So I wouldn't know, but he did cheat me like how he did to every fighter.
But your decision to take him to court, do you think it served you well? Because you said for 2 years you were not fighting. Did it serve you well? Did it serve your interest?
I had no regrets taking him to court. I think I went into fight for what belongs to me, and the fight didn't win. Duncan is a superman in the sport. He has the power to manipulate the lawyers and so on, and things couldn't work, and no regrets.
You didn't win the court case?
We didn't finish. I have to just withdraw the case.
You withdrew the case?
Yeah.
After spending loads of money?
Yeah.
How much did you spend fighting
because
that case?
I realized that I was just spending, and nothing was coming.
So how much did you spend?
I wasn't fighting as well.
How much did you spend?
I wouldn't. I don't want to go there.
Like $1 million?
I don't want to go there.
$1 million?
I don't want to go there. It's gone.
No, but it's gone. But this is just a conversation we are having. Because sometimes, because people will tell you that sometimes these legal issues, they are quite expensive. Because to even be fighting someone like Don King in the US is huge.
Yeah.
So for you to have mastered that courage to go all out, show that, yeah, you had money to fight, but your money was not good enough.
No. Yeah.
So, but
It wasn't.
but did you make money fighting under Don King? Did you make money?
Again?
Did you make money fighting for Don King?
Let me put it this way. I would say I did not live on boxing. Boxing lived in me. I did not live on boxing.
Did you make money fighting for Don King?
I said I did not live on boxing. Boxing lived in me.
That's not the answer to the question. The question is, did you make money fighting for Don King?
Yeah, of course. After every fight, I get my pay. I get my check.
Like, what was the minimum check that you got?
I can't disclose.
Just see that, because I remember the conversation I was having with.
Yeah, I've always had conversations with interviews, and the most important part of the interview for journalists has to do with what you get and so on. And like I said from the beginning, my passion has never been
about money.
Yeah,
clearly understood. Point well made.
So whenever I'm going on anything that has to do with boxing,
Joseph,
yeah.
If you are to advise a young boxer to choose a career of boxing, there must be a way of convincing that young boxer that it is worth it fighting. It is not every young boxer that you had an opportunity of sitting one-on-one to speak to.
What I can advise every young person to do is to follow their passion.
I'm building a point.
When you follow your passion, money wouldn't be...
I'm building a point.
Okay.
So when I finish building the point, you'll get it. So for instance, I'm speaking to Joseph Agbeko, who tells me that, okay, approximately when he was fighting in the US, he was making, say, $100,000 per fight. He was making, say, $1.2 million per fight. That's just an approximation. You're not telling us that your check was $100,000. Your check was $200,000. You're just approximating.
It's my principles. I've never mentioned any of this to any media person before.
That's why you're going to mention it to me.
Never. I've never done that before. If I would do it, I would have done it long ago. I've never done it before.
Really?
Yeah, I have never.
Then you're a tough character, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never. If you want to know, you can go into the boxing page, something, and every information is there. You'll be able to know, but I have never mentioned it before.
That would be an information I am discovering, but not coming from you.
Yeah, so you just take it like that.
No, what if I take it like that and it's not correct?
That's your research. You just do on it.
That's a good one there from Joseph Agbeko. He says he's not going to give us an idea how much he made from boxing, but I think boxing really served him well because he looks very well. He doesn't look like someone who was even a fighter because I can't see any mark on your face because many boxers have got plenty marks. Do you have any, or you use money to clear them?
It's a sport that I love. So God has been my protector all the time. God has been on my side. I've never had any bad injury in boxing until the latter part of my career. So I would say I've had a good career, like an injury-free career.
Talk to me. Who has been your toughest opponent as a boxer?
My toughest opponent?
Yeah.
I would say Yoni Perez. Yoni Perez from Colombia. Excuse me. I fought Yoni Perez twice, and I lost the first one to Yoni Perez. So that was when I lost the title. I lost the title the first time to Yoni Perez, and it was a very big blow to me. And after a year, exactly a year, I had the opportunity to fight him for a rematch That was for the Showtime tournament.
Yeah, okay.
So when the parents came, it was me, myself, Johnny Perez, Abner Mares, and Vic Datinia. So when the parents came out, I was going to fight Johnny Perez on my first fight. And during our preparation for the training camp, I didn't want to watch our first fight because every time I watch the fight, I don't see any possibility of winning the next fight because the guy is a little huge than myself, very tough, very strong, and he was a soldier, so very disciplined with training, very, very, very tough. And when he's fighting, he just keep coming, he doesn't go back. And myself, I've been one of the most skillful boxer from Ghana, but I've never exhibited my skill in the ring, except only in the gym when I'm sparring. So people hasn't seen my skill in the ring, but except in the gym. So every time I also go into bang. So every time it's boom, 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 boom. And Johnny Perez is a fighter who always comes in. So during our training camp, the game plan has been to attack, because everybody think I have to attack Johnny Perez for me to be able to win. Even the people that came to work together with us during our training camp and so on, everybody was suggesting a huge attack on Johnny Perez, you know. And every time I want to watch, then I get scared. I said, no, if I watch, it's going to kill my spirit. So let me just let it be. So one day, I got the courage that, okay, today let me watch a little bit of the fight. So watching the fight, I realized there was a point on our first fight. I realized there was a point where he was coming after me. So for about 10-15 seconds, I was going backwards while he was coming after me. Then I saw something when I was going back while he was attacking me. So what I saw at that place, I was like, no, this is actually what I think I have to use to beat this guy, because I can't find any way to beat him. So while we were all building on attacking, I was also going with attacking for the training camp and everything. So on the fight night, I told my team, the corner, my trainer, the catman, everybody involved in making decision on what I do in the ring. I told them that, you know something, I want to plead with you. Just give me a round or two for me just to be myself, for me just to fight, to do what I want to do. And then after that, 1-2 rounds, you can take over from me. Because I knew what I wanted to do. So when they gave me the chance, when I went into the ring, I decided to allow him to come after me while I played the defensive role. Yeah. So when I was going on a defensive and he was going after me, I realized everything became very, very easy for me. And I make him my toughest fight because I went through a lot of, tough head to be able to come out with a strategy to beat him. So I would say he's my toughest.
The toughest. And tell me, how did you prepare for that fight?
It was the normal preparation. I was living in New York, Bronx, going to the gym. Sometimes we move to Philly for some days for sparring. Sometimes we move to another city for some days for sparring. But my main base was New York, Bronx, and it was the normal preparation. But I had to, push myself to the extra limit.
The day you laid your hand on that world title, how was it like?
The first time?
Yeah.
You know,
just have arrived.
The first time I won the world title, you know, every boxer's dream is to become a champion.
Yeah.
So on that night, I knew I was going to win, but immediately the referee declared the fight as a technical knockout. You know, the brain was just running. You know, everybody came and they started carrying me and so on, and I was like, wow, this has been the dream that I had from childhood, and today I have been able to achieve that dream by God's grace. I was so. the joy was serious. That night, I actually slept with my belt. You know, I have to lay the belt beside me and then sleep with the belt.
I can imagine that.
Yeah,
the excitement alone of finally laying your hand on the world title after that.
But winning it for the second time was, I mean, the joy was more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was more.
Why?
You know, in boxing, right, Floyd Mayweather is a fighter who has never lost before. And I've always loved him for that. But to the boxing community, they do not respect fighters who has not lost before. You know, you can call yourself the great and they still don't respect you.
Because you've never lost?
Yeah. You know,
Why?
I think if you not lost, that means you didn't give yourself the chance for anybody to beat you. Floyd was on his toe, making sure that he fought all the top fighters at his time, and he made sure he beat all of them.
Yes.
You know, so to me, that is the greatest to me, you know. But to the boxing community, for you to be called a champion, it's not about you winning a title. The road for you to win a title is very long for the first time. It's long, and you go through it and then you become a champion. It's very tough. But when you lose the belt, for you to win it again, believe me, that is the most toughest. You see after losing the fight, you see yourself among the top rated fighters. You see yourself among the best. So it makes it easier for you to be able to get a chance to fight for a championship again. Unlike you climbing from the ground to the top.
Yeah.
So you are already there. But winning it there is the most toughest because you've already tasted defeat. That thing has entered into your brain. The courage and a lot of things that you used to go into the ring with is no more there. Now whenever you're going into the ring, the brain is to win and lose. It's the most toughest part of every boxer.
So when
you lose and you are able to come back and win again, that is when they call you a champion.
When you lost your title, how was it like for you?
It was like the end of the road for me. When I lost it the first time, it was like the end of the road. I was like, wow, I come from Africa. And for Africans to get opportunity is very, very hard. So when am I going to get this opportunity again? Because you know, Africans doesn't sell tickets in America. We don't like to buy plane ticket from here to America to go and watch boxing. And the most toughest part for any African is that even when they buy ticket, the most expensive ticket from Ghana to board a plane to America, when they come to America, they want you, the fighter, to pay for hotel for them. They want you, the fighter, to give them tickets to go watch fights. So it doesn't give the African fighters any value. African fighters doesn't get any value in America when they're fighting because they don't bring nothing to the table. They don't sell tickets. They don't do anything. So for an African boxer to get opportunity, it's hard. They would rather give those opportunities to the Spanish people because they watch boxing a lot. So I was thinking, like, when am I going to get that opportunity again? So when it came back again, I made sure I have to do my best to win it.
I recall in 2013, when you came up against Abner Mares, I think that is a fight, if I'm not mistaken. It's a fight since you had, especially after that second, that rematch that you had with him, your career took a complete nosedive. Talk to us about the first one. I remember that first fight where most of the punches were quite low because I watched that fight. They were quite low, so when you lost, there was an opportunity for you to have a rematch. But the rematch never worked out. Joseph, it never worked out. What happened?
If I would say I have any regret in boxing, I would say my only regret was to fight Abner Mares for the second time. That would be the only regret I would say I had in boxing. I fought Mares the first time when I was sick. Nobody knew about it. Even my team, I couldn't tell them because I fell sick a day before the weigh-in. That was when I fell sick. And we were all on high spirits. So I couldn't even tell my coach, I couldn't even tell anybody because I don't want to destroy their brain. I want everybody to be on their high destiny. And at that particular time, there's no any treatment that I can go through, because any treatment that I'll go through around that time will come with some drug that may stop me from fighting. So I have to go ahead and take the fight.
Did you have a psychologist in your team?
A
psychologist?
I have never had a team. So I've never had a team, so don't ask.
So you didn't have a psychologist?
I had never had a team.
Did you have a medical doctor?
Yes.
You had a medical doctor?
Yeah.
But you didn't consider it important to have a psychologist?
You know, there's a lot of things that has to do with boxing and boxers that Africans, we the Africans, doesn't get that opportunity.
There were people who actually even accused you of deliberately losing to Abner Mares. Sometimes when you hear these things, how do you feel?
Which one, the first or the second?
The second one.
Okay, so maybe you have to allow me to learn. So I would say that before the fight, I felt sick. I kept it to myself. That was a day before the fight.
Yeah.
I went into the ring. From the beginning, I was a little slow. When I say I felt sick, it wasn't like I felt seriously sick. I was reducing my weight. So I took a hot tub bath to relax my muscles. And there's a salt called Epsom salt. Yeah. It relaxes your muscles. Yeah. So you put it in the hot water, you relax yourself in it, and it relaxes your muscles. It's like a massage kind of therapy. So I did that, but when I was doing it, because I was reducing my weight, I made the hot water a little hotter so that I can sweat more, so I'll be able to reduce more weight. So because of the heat that went into me, the following morning, I couldn't wake up healthy as I used to be. So I had to take some paracetamol, like just to
was that an advice from your doctor?
For what? For the Epsom salt?
Yeah, for the...
Yeah, we do it all the time. It's something they make us do it all the time. While when you're preparing for a fight, after every time, you do it just to relax your muscles. It relaxes your muscles. It's a salt, you put it in the water, you make it a little warm, you lie in it, relax for some 30 minutes, and it goes inside your muscle just to relax your muscles. When you ask the boxers, they know about it. So I think because of the heatness of the water, yeah, that made me feel ill. So I went into the fight. From the first 2-3 rounds, I was very slow. Mares was looking good from that side. Yeah. And then after those rounds, I started picking up, but the low blows continue going up and down. The low blows were coming on and on. And the referee was supposed to stop the fight or disqualify Mares, and they didn't do that. And then they gave the decision to Mares. And then I had the opportunity to fight for the rematch, which was actually ordered by the IBF. And I'll say it was a regret for me to go into the second rematch with the second fight with Mares, because the first fight with Mares, I felt like Golden Boy did everything they could do to make Mares a champion, because Golden Boy has had a lot of champions, yeah, but all those champions weren't Golden Boy's fighters. They were fighters from Ahemo and other people. Oh, okay. But Mares was their only grassroots fighter who they took from the grass, and they want to do everything possible to make Mares a champion. So they can use Mares as
a selling point.
A selling point. So they were doing everything possible. So on that first fight, which they couldn't disqualify him and they gave it to him, when the rematch came, I felt that there was a lot of things that went into that rematch, because the fight was supposed to be Duncan promotion, Duncan and Golden Boy promotion, but the rematch became only Golden Boy promotion. So all right was given to Golden Boy, and the fight was actually promoted in the hometown of Abner Mares. And during my preparation for the fight, I got a lot of distraction from Duncan, a lot of distraction from my own promoter who want to see me win. And 1 minute we have a fight, another minute there's no fight. So my training camp has been on and off to some time. And then I actually wanted to pull out of that fight because my training camp hasn't been good. But I think
it means that your boxing career has always been full of issues.
Yeah. So at that point, there is a press conference that we always do. The media press that we always do before a fight. So on that media engagement, I said to my managers that I'm not going to go on that this thing because I'm not going to fight.
But do you think, on the hindsight, do you think that you should have had a psychologist? If you had a psychologist could have helped you better, because this is purely psychological issue.
If I had had a team or I have had a manager who was on my side, maybe. My mind has been on fighting in the ring, maybe somebody would have requested that, oh, okay, let's do this or let's do that. Do you understand me? So, so that has to do with me not wanting to fight for that fight. And then Duncan went on that
tangent.
That media. I don't know how they have a name that they call it, that media engagement. Yeah. And then Donkey said to Showtime that I want to pull out of the fight. You know, but Showtime doesn't know whatever is going on between myself, my management, and Donkey. They don't know. So at that particular time, if I decide to pull out of the fight, I'm going to destroy Showtime's fight. So I went into the fight. Going into the fight, I realized that the fight wasn't mine. Even the first referee Rosamora, was even better than the second referee. During the fight, the referee disabled me. He disabled me in every angle. Everything that I want to do, the referee is going to give me warning on it. Everything that will work for me is going to give me warning on it. So now I became too conscious. Whenever I'm going to go all out or anything I want to do, I get scared that I don't want to do anything for this referee to warn me or to disqualify me. And whenever the referee comes after me, he comes after me with some anger in his face and some arrogance. So you
felt the world was against you?
Against me. So I wasn't allowed to be able to, to fight. And I lost the second fight, and the second fight was actually a proper loss.
When you lost the second fight, and many Ghanaians were like, oh, Wama Obabu, Abina Mary, and what was that?
Abina Maris.
No, they were saying Abina Mary. Like, Ghanaians were jokingly saying that you've allowed a woman to beat you. And how did you feel when all this came out?
Yeah, this is what I have to tell Ghanaians. Boxing is a very, very, very tough sport. And the one in the ring want to win more than you, the one watching. And one thing they have to know is that the government does not invest into our preparation towards any fight. And they, the fans that watch us, they don't even come over there to pay so we can have get some value in terms of bargaining value for our earnings. Do you get me? They only sit here and they watch. And whenever you lose, everyone wants to insult you. Whenever you win, they want to share the glory with you. But whenever you lose, everyone wants to insult you. But you win. You want to win more than they want you to win. You want to do everything more than they want to get it. So if Ghanaians know that they want to criticize boxers, they should be ready to be investing into the preparation of fighters. They should put pressure on the government so the government can invest in the preparation for fighters. Then whenever a fighter loses, like how Black Star, they give money to Black Stars, and when they lose, everyone can insult them. They should be able to put pressure on the government so the government can invest into the preparation of the fighters so that whenever we lose, they can insult us.
That's quite an interesting one. But there are people who also argue that national team is a team sport. Boxing is an individual thing. So there are people who can argue that. And when you're going for a major tournament, it's a tournament that the country has registered to be part of. Boxing is an individual boxer who has gone to register.
So when the individual goes and he wins or he loses, they should keep quiet so that he can come home and have his rest. because it's an individual sport. So they should take their loss individually. They should take it individually so that once they come, it's for them. You didn't do anything, so they go. When you see them, you wave at them or you don't. They are, you know. But if you know, that's all. Don't say anything.
After that fight against Abner Mares, your career took a complete nosedive. What happened?
I think that those low blows from Mares took me a very low.
It took loads of energy out of you?
It took me very low in terms of my career. Not because it took energy of me, but that particular fight actually took a lot from me. If I hadn't engaged in the second fight, my career would have looked a little better. But I would say God knows best. God knows why everything went that way.
So would you describe that fight as your lowest moment as a boxer?
Yes.
Wow. You also had many planned fights that were cancelled. What happened? Remember those ones? That
yes.
In fact, when we became partners and in some of your fights, I remember one we went for the weigh-in. We were there when the opponent was not coming. What happened? What happened that most of your fights were cancelled?
I would say at a point of time between 2012, 2013, I was installed at Warrior Chief Torgbui Kaletor in the Volta region, and after that installment, a lot of things started going off in my career. Even in the US, before I have to move from the US to Ghana, I was facing a challenge. I was facing a challenge in the US where, because I was staying in New York before I moved to Vegas. Okay. So staying in Vegas for some time, I have to now change my my license from New York license to Nevada license. So, excuse me, going through medicals to get the Nevada license, there were a few, I failed, not fail, but there was a problem with one of my medical. So I have to go back and do other exams just to confirm what they see. And when I went to do all those exams, there was nothing wrong. There was nothing wrong with me. But still, when I go to the other one, there's still problem. But when I go to check, there's nothing wrong with me. So I was having challenges getting the Nevada license. So I decided to come back home. I decided to come back home. When I came back home. You
said you were in skin as a chief, right?
Yeah.
You have some roots from the Volta region?
Come again?
Do you have some roots from the Volta region?
I'm 100% Voltarian.
But you were born in Sukura?
I was born in Sukura, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I'm 100% Voltarian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when I came to Ghana, I went for the check, the same medical again over here, and there was nothing wrong with me. I did it twice, and there was nothing wrong with me.
So medically, there was nothing wrong with
me, but I don't know why it keeps showing over there that there was a problem, and whenever they even check it, they review it, they can't see anything. But when I came to Ghana, there was nothing wrong with me. So I just had a feeling that there was a strong force against my career if I want to. I just had a feeling like that. And every time I try to do anything, I always have...
As in a spiritual force against your career in what?
Yes, I'll put it that way. I will put it that way. There was a strong force against me in my career. Every time I try to do something, any boxing match, anything, one way or the other, I always have challenges. I always have people trying to pull me back. I always have other challenges. Things are not working. In few years ago, I was supposed to fight for the WBO final eliminator in the UK. One way or the other, something happened and it couldn't happen. About over a year now, about a year ago, I was supposed to fight for the WBO World Championship in Dubai. We were in Dubai, we prepared for the fight and everything. Even preparing for the fight, I fell sick. I had to go through the sickness, overcome it, go to Dubai, prepare to fight. And about 2 to 3 hours before the fight, the opponent called that he can't take the fight anymore. You know, so the fight got cancelled.
There was also a similar one. You were supposed to fight a Kenyan opponent.
Yeah.
When Bokum waiting for arrival for weigh-in and all that, all of a sudden the fight did not happen again.
Yeah, I've had a lot of those.
And there's nothing, there's no reason why those fights were cancelled. Yeah. They didn't give you any concrete reason. They would just tell you, I don't want to fight again.
It has always been going like that.
But there were also people who claimed that you had issues with the Ghana Boxing Authority who were not sanctioning your fights.
I would say I do not have any issue with the Ghana Boxing Authority. If I will have any issue, maybe it will be an individual people on the board who may have issues with me. I don't know if for a tribal reason or not. I grew up in BC. I spent most of my time in BC. So I see myself more of a gun than even an Ewe. You know, so I don't know why, but the boxing community does not appreciate me, does not love me. They don't treat me like how they treat the other fighters. I don't know if because I'm from the Volta region or whatever, but I actually live there. But for some reason, there are a lot of people in there that they don't like me.
So you felt marginalized?
Even with the Bukum Boxing Arena. When you go inside the Bukum Boxing Arena, there is a place where they have all the champions' picture in there.
Yeah, I can even picture some of them. Yeah.
When you go in there, you know, Joseph Agbeko was not a fighter who just won a world title once. When you look at the champions, from the greats Azuma Nelson, DK Poison, everyone, if you want to mention about 3 or 4 great champions among all the 10, you mention me. Because I was 2 times world champion. I even added a bonus one, which is IBO, and IBO is not a recognized world title. Yeah. So I would say 2 times world champion. Azuma was 3 times. Nana Okonedu was also, I think, 2 or 3 times or 2 division. So, but I was behind those top great fighters. So I have achieved a lot in the boxing fraternity, you know. So there's no way anybody trying to put pictures of fighters who has achieved for Ghana and they wouldn't think about Joseph Agbeko.
So you feel that people of Bukum don't appreciate you, and even the boxing?
The boxing, I don't think
they don't respect you.
It's not. I wouldn't say they don't. They don't appreciate me. I don't know. I don't know. But
do you feel hurt by this?
Come again?
Do you feel hurt that, despite all the successes you've chalked, if you're putting up an arena that is dominated by boxing legends and they don't consider you in there, it's quite an insult. Do you feel hurt?
Yeah, I would say, yes, I feel hurt sometimes because I feel hurt sometimes.
Sometimes, but not all the time.
You know, I just feel like maybe as I'm thinking that they hate, maybe it's part of me. I was born like that.
You were born to always have issues surrounding you and all that.
For people to hate, for people who have worked hard to make them proud, not to appreciate me.
We are opening the conversation pretty soon, but I have 3 quick questions that I want to ask. One of them definitely would have to be, at this point, what are you doing? Have you retired yet?
Have I retired yet?
Yeah. At 43, have you retired? You don't even look 43. You look like some 25-year-old boy.
There's a lot of question when it comes to my age, but I wouldn't want to go into that now. Am I retired? I would say yes. I have retired. I have retired from boxing.
If you have retired, what next?
I'm coming. I think just a second to
calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Have you retired yet?
Yes.
You have retired.
Yes, I'm a retired boxer now. When I started going through those challenges, trying to make fights, trying to come back, you know, it got to a time that I realized that I wasn't fighting my opponents, but I was fighting the boxing fraternity. You know, I realized I wasn't fighting the opponent, the people I was fighting, because a fighter who had been up came down and want to go back, and the people who supposed to be helping me to push me up became the people who were fighting me. A lot of challenges were coming. I realized that maybe it's just a signal that God is telling me that, okay, Charlie, you've done your own. It's time for you to, call it a career. So I have retired.
They forced you to retire?
Come again?
Did they force you to retire because of the events that were, not as in, hey, stop, but because of the circumstances?
Not particularly just the Ghana Boxing Authority. You know, this is the problem that we are having with Ghana Boxing. I hope you have a little battery to
Please
go
do.
on.
Please do.
This is a problem that we are having with Ghana Boxing. First of all, I think the GBA itself, right? I think the GBA itself need a lot of schooling. When I say schooling, not just the current GBA, every GBA administration. I've been in the US, they come for fights all the time. Do you understand me? I think the GBA need to always send members of their board to always go to the US, go to Nevada Athletic Commission, go to New York Athletic Commission, to learn a lot of things when it comes to governing boxing, so that they will know how to, manage boxing in Ghana. I think in the boxing fraternity here in Ghana, I think the managers, the promoters, and even the boxers, we need to be enrolled on like regular clinics that will, help managers to know how to manage fighters, to help promoters to know how to promote fighters. I always say that boxing is equally tough as the streets, if not more. You know, because every time a boxer goes into the ring, they put their life on the line. Every minute they step into the ring, or every minute in the gym, and they put on that gloves, they put their life on the line. Even on a boxer's easy day, the day that the boxer is going to win the fight very easily, he will still see blood, if not from his mouth, then from his opponent. You know, when you go to Accra Central, even around 3, 4, on a sunny day, you see young fighters wearing like rubber dress, very hot, very warm, running on the sun, just to reduce their weight and be able to fight. Boxers doesn't think just like how every other person thinks. The way we prepare for a fight has a lot to do with our brain. Even in the ring, the toughness that we build up for us to be able to be in the ring, to fight and go through all those rounds, has a lot of effect on our brain. So boxers act differently from the normal ones. So when you are managing boxers or you are promoting boxers, you need to go to the people who actually introduce the sport to you properly, so you learn a lot of things from them, so that when you are having issues or you are dealing with boxers, you will know how to deal with boxers. But I would say that from the GBA, from the managers, from the promoters, majority of them, they don't know how to handle the sport. You know, boxers in Ghana, boxers are treated like a piece of help. Every manager, every trainer, every promoter treat the boxers like they are helping them. They feel like I have my money.
I'm doing you a favor.
I'm doing you a favor. I'm helping you. Do you get me? But you are not helping. They treat the boxers like they are beggars. You know, some of the boxers, before they'll get their allowance, before they'll get certain things to be done, they have to beg. They have to change managers before all those things happen. You know, the boxers are just like a cash cow for the managers or for the promoters. You know, and the boxers are actually the main business. They put their life on the line. You go into the ring with no any assurance that you can come out of the ring healthy, or you can even come out of the ring alive. You know, so this is a sport that the GBA itself need a lot of coaching on how to govern the authority.
What have they done to suggest that they don't know how to govern the sport?
There has been so many, you know, there can never ever be a GBA. There can never ever be a GBA or a manager or a promoter without a boxer putting his life on the line. If a young fighter does not decide that this is the sport I want to do, I want to put my life on the line to make a living and to make my people proud, we are not going to have any manager, we are not going to have any promoter, and we are not going to have any GBA. So before any other thing, GBA managers or promoters, they always have to know that boxer comes first. When you go to the US and you see how even Duncan, to his level, the biggest Duncan, when you see how Duncan relates to his boxers, you would think Duncan is just a small boy. How he relates to his boxers. You see other managers, other promoters, they treat, a boxer is someone that you have to treat like your wife. Even though it's not your wife, it's someone that you have to play with his mind, you have to make him feel good, because you are going to put him into the ring for him to take his life on the line, for him to make a living where you get the check. So you need to make him feel. I don't think the GBA, the boxing management and all, I don't think they are doing what people are pushing. People are doing everything they can do to be able to produce champions. They are doing their best that they can. But I think we need a regular clinics for both the.
So with your knowledge, would you consider putting yourself in a position of governing boxing in Ghana?
No, I've never thought of that.
Are you part, or have you offered advice or suggestions on how you think the sport should be managed in Ghana?
There was one time I was offering an idea to one of the Secretary General of the Ghana Boxing Authority on how certain things can be done, or something that can be done that can favor the former champions. Because I feel it's that time I hadn't.
As in putting together a plan on how to honor former champions,
not to
former world champions?
Not to honor. I feel when people engage into boxing, like boxers, especially we boxers from Ghana, everything that we do is boxing. So most time when we are done with boxing, we have nothing to do. So I came out with a plan that if they put that plan together, it will be a platform where any former champion or any boxer who has gotten to some height in the sport can subscribe on that project and be able to get himself active and also use his brand or his image and his influence from the sport to also grow another fighter so that can keep making busy and also be another point for him of making some money and also building a champion. And it wasn't welcome. Because
why didn't you put it on paper? You should just put it on paper. When you put it on paper, it's documented. They have the document lying down there. This is from Joseph Agbeko. If someone leaves, whether it was Peter Zones, it was Moses Fuamone, it is Abraham Korte, when he comes, the letter is there.
I was sharing the idea with the secretary, and the secretary wasn't accepting the idea, but he was coming up with another idea that can bring money directly to the Ghana Boxing Authority. Do you get me? He was suggesting another idea that can bring money directly
they want money,
to the Ghana Boxing.
They want money and you bring them
That
ideas.
is why I said the GBA need to go to the athletic, like the Nevada Athletic Commission of New York to learn, because those people know how to make money. Those people know how to regulate the sport.
So they're able to combine
where
the two.
they'll be able to
sport and make money. They
know how
to do that.
They know how to be able to groom the sport and be able to make money to manage the whole thing. But if you don't go to those people, you won't get an idea.
So what next for Joseph Agbeko? What do you have? Do you have some plans? Are you considering being a boxing promoter, a boxing manager, a boxing coach?
I have the Joseph Agbeko Foundation.
Okay.
When I was coming up as a fighter, I grew up with a lot of fighters that I considered to be more talented than myself, but for some reason they couldn't get the chance to become champions. Yeah. And I feel the cause has to be from lack of maybe guidance or lack of management or something. So Joseph Agbeko Foundation has been working on a mentorship project that will put some light, some guidance and stuff on some particular boxers that I see talent in them, and I think that is how I can also give back to the sport. Joseph Agbeko Foundation is also working on a project with Ace Power Promotion, Origin 8 Limited.
I know them.
On a project called Street to Champion. Street to Champion is a poverty elevation project where we want to use boxing as a tool to elevate poverty of the streets, for us to be able to, to help the boys of the street. So I'm still working behind the scene to be able to, give back to boxing.
Would you consider management or coaching in boxing? Or even promotion? Would you consider that?
Promotion. I've been a promoter. I've promoted I think twice or three times in Ghana. My promotion actually made a change in Ghana boxing. 2013, Fresh King Entertainment promoted a fight at Accra Sports Stadium.
I recall
which was a massive one. The night was filled with a majority of the celebrities in Ghana. It was an international fight, and that was the first time that a fight was staged in Ghana where we had all the ring light and everything. And after that, people start to put that into consideration. People start using the ring light and everything. So my promotional company has actually...
Is it still active?
It's not active, but definitely...
Will you bring it back?
I'm going to come back.
You're going to come back? Yeah. It would be a travesty for me to end this conversation without talking about, in fact, 3 boxers, not 2 boxers. Richard Comey, Isaac Dogbe, recently in their fights against Ramirez and then Robaisi, they both lost their fights, taking our boxing further downward. Many people are saying, what next for us? Did you watch those fights, though? Did you watch the fights?
No.
In your spare time, what do you do? It means you've given up on boxing.
No, I watched some highlights of the fights.
Oh, okay.
I've not been that close with Richard Comey, but Isaac has been very close with me.
Oh, okay.
He makes sure he calls me from time to time, and so on. And I think Isaac is really pushing himself very hard. Richard is also doing the same. Like I said from the beginning, winning the title the first time is easy to be done.
Defending it.
But losing it and winning it back is the tougher one. And I believe if they don't give up and they keep on pushing, they stay humble, and they try to get closer to people like Azuma Nelson, people like Quote and so on, I believe they can still become champions.
They can still become champions. What advice do you have for young boxers?
You always have to be ready. If you are always ready, you are not going to get ready. Like I had my first title shot. It was a 3 weeks notice, but because I was ready, I was able to grab the opportunity. I'll say before I finish with everything, I would like to take this opportunity to reintroduce myself. I think the brand Joseph Agbeko has done all he can do as a fighter.
Yeah.
I've been in there, I've given it my all, I've made my people proud, and I want Joseph Agbeko to be treated as my legacy. I want to live to see the legacy of Joseph King Kong Agbeko, and from now onwards, I would like to tell the general public to address me by the name Torgbui Kaletor II. I am no more Joseph.
Please take the name again.
Torgbui Kaletor II.
So I'm speaking to Torgbui Kaletor II, not Joseph Agbeko.
On a serious note,
yeah.
On a serious note, I want to be addressed as Torgbui Kaletor II from now onwards.
And not Joseph Agbeko.
Yeah.
Wow. As in, is it a title or something that has been handed to you or something?
Yeah, it's a title. That is the new me.
Rebranded.
Yeah.
From Joseph Agbeko to Torgbui Kaletor II. Wow. Wow. Okay, so there's this question. I want to ask about the advice you are going to give to boxers. So I just wanted to wrap up with that one. What is the biggest skill required of a boxer?
The biggest skill
Yes.
required
Of a boxer. What skill do you need?
Skill
Yes.
required of a boxer. I think in boxing, the most common skill that a boxer needs to be able to stay in there, to be able to do everything, is to make sure every time your jab goes. Your jab goes every time. The jab is what keeps you ahead of the game, and it's still the only thing that keeps you out of trouble. Because as far as you are standing in front of the boxer and you keep on jabbing, the jabbing distracts the boxer. It gives you the chance to be able to think of what to do, and you keep on distracting with the jab. Every time, as a boxer, the jab must always flow. It keeps you away from trouble, and it keeps you ahead of the game.
It keeps you away from trouble, and it keeps you ahead of the game. That is Torgbui Kaletor II, my guest here on Prime Take. We appreciate your company.